Hello and welcome to Loving Me, Myself, and Life with me, Jody Musiak. The other week when I went to sit down to record my podcast, I was reminded again about life and all its funness. So, like I've mentioned before, full, open, being, very open and honest about this, I record my podcast ahead of time. And usually my husband, takes the kids out so I can be nice and quiet and I can do my thing. So the other week I had everything set up because I wasn't planning on recording the damn recording right now, but life has a way of working out just the way it's meant to. I had more topics come up in my mind and I've actually already recorded them before I found this one again because I forgot. And it's another one, like if this thing didn't happen, I wouldn't have this topic to talk about or be reminded of it. So I had it all set up. I was ready to go. I literally had it all ready to go. Get in my mindset, clear my mind, open up my heart, like all those things. And all of a sudden, my neighbor is outside doing something with the lawn, and it was really loud. And the neighbor right beside where my office is. So I was like, well, that's not going to work. At one, I couldn't even think. I couldn't even be in my office in the same, like I had to move for one. And I was like, oh my goodness, it's so loud. Anyway, so life reminded me to be flexible. It's actually kind of funny when that happens. When I find that I'm too rigid, like I'm stuck in my routine, I have this, I'm getting really rigid about everything in life. And life has a funny way of reminding me to be flexible. And it happened with my son's program too. We signed him up. It was at a certain time, and then they moved the time. And actually, that's why I had to put the pause on coffee chat. It was like, right, it was interfering with that. So it was just so funny, right? And then even like the time frames changed for the other programs. So it's reminding me to stay open to the possibilities. And that's actually how I met my husband in the first place. I've always been kind of like a little bit of a control freak. I'm trying to work on that. Actually, it's not the best term, but such is life. I did, like to control things. And I always was set kind of like, I like to have things certain ways in my schedule. And I kind of like to know what's going on. And I remember I was always going to yoga at the gym. This is way before I met my husband. And all of a sudden it got moved, I think to Thursday or something. And I was like, well, what am I going to do with my Wednesdays now? So I actually was teaching at a dance studio. I was teaching a dance and fitness studio. So I was teaching some fitness classes, but I didn't teach that day. So I was looking, I'm like, well, what kind of dances could I take? Could I take a class? And I'm like, well, I've always wanted to try salsa. So I went. And the first week, it was just one other couple and myself. And I was like, well, this is fun. And I was like, well, I kind of wish I would have had a partner because I had to share and go with the instructor. And I still had fun though. And then when I got home, I was like looking at my contact list. I'm like, who can I ask? What male friend could I ask to come join and dance with me? And then I was like, well, no one's going to pay for it. Like none of my friends like me enough to pay for a dance. I wasn't really willing to pay their way. So didn't want it that bad, I guess, to have a dance partner. Or it was just meant to be. Because the following week, I still showed up because I had so much fun. And there was my husband, or now husband. Alex was there. He had no partner. And then it was the other couple and myself and Alex. And the rest is really history. Now, and then, yeah, it really is actually history. So if I would have been mad and frustrated about my yoga being moved, I might have just stayed home and sulked. And be like, that would have been luckily I was in a place there where I was doing some healing and some self, love and realizing that life happens and to let go of things. So I let go of that. I was like, well, what can I do instead? Instead of getting mad, I was like, well, what can I do instead? Life helped me shake up my life, shake up my routine, so it could put me in the place to meet my husband. And it was just beautiful. And it wasn't about forcing or pushing. I'm like, well, it's kind of like what I do when I need something self-care related, where I'm like, what do I need right now? For me, it was, what could I do instead? And it's not forcing or pushing. It's just letting ideas float within my head. It's actually how I also stumbled upon the empowerment coach course that I took. I was like, well, what can I do? I want to help people, but what can I do? And I just let that question float in the air. Kind of have conversations with myself, or really, in its essence, I'm really having a conversation with the universe. And it's really, really incredible and fun and beautiful when we're co-creating our lives. So we're not forcing, we're not pushing, shoving. We're just being present and co-creating our life. And it's really fun when we allow and don't force and push. And this is coming from a forcer or a pusher. When I allow life to flow, life flows through me and with me, and it is really incredible. So again, though, life reminded me, and it's those beautiful things where, it's just being about awareness. I talk about this so much because it really is awareness. Like, so yes, I'm a coach. Yes, I have these tools in my toolbox, but if I'm not aware of when I'm going off the hinges, like so to say, or I'm going off track, or something's not feeling right, if I'm not aware of that, I can't fix it, or not even fix it, because it's not even about being broken. I can't send love to it. I can't shift and course correct or change it up. It all comes down to being aware of what's going on with my feelings, my body, life in general. And same with, getting a kick in the butt, where it's like, well, that wasn't the time to be doing that. I can't remember what I did instead. I did something. Well, I definitely wrote down the idea of being flexible, because it was a reminder again of, I'm falling into a routine, being super rigid, like, well, this is the time. And I'm not saying it's important to have have things, especially like because I'm a mompreneur, I'm doing the whole balance between mom and being an entrepreneur. I have set office hours, so I show up in those time frames. Like even today, it's gorgeous out. It's so warm and sunny and awesome. But it's been like that for the past few days, and they're calling for the same thing for the next few days and over the weekend and things. So one, I'm not letting the nice weather slow me down. Like I was out there earlier with my son and things like that. But I'm also so it's fun. It's this fun balance. Like I've said before, life is a balancing act. And so is your time and your energy and just everything. And I had to honor that this is my space to do this. But I'm also like, well, if I get done early, maybe I'll go hang out with the kids and my husband again out in the sun. It's not about making excuses, because we can always find excuses, but it's also being open and flexible when things happen. Your neighbor's doing some lawn maintenance and stuff right outside your window. I was like, you know what? I can do something else with my time. It was totally cool. Actually, I might have just taken time for me. I'm not sure, because my husband already had the kids and they were out and about doing something in town probably. But I just allowed myself to roll with the punches, kind of, so to speak, roll with life. And I had like some more wonderful topics kind of come up in there, and it was really beautiful. So life happens. Sometimes, it's to point us in a different direction, or point us, like, just kind of show us a new direction, or give us a break. Maybe I wasn't in the right mindset that day. I'm not sure. Oh, I know what I was doing. I was trying to fit things in before meeting up with a client. So, taking a call. So in that time, maybe I just needed some more me time before that. So it's just allowing life to flow and be, and not rush things, not push things. And when you listen to life, it will guide you and help you in the right direction. When you allow life to guide you, it will guide you where you need to go. And that starts with being aware of things. Like, oh man, I can think about like myself, that was like 15 plus years ago. That Jody would have been so mad. Actually, even less than that, probably. Oh no, hold on. How long have I known my husband? Anyways, before that time, it probably was just a year before I met my husband, or even in that year, because that was the year of super soul searching, soul healing. Like there's a lot of stuff going on that I was healing, and it was really my starting point of my self-love journey and discovery and things. That Jody that happened and said yes to life instead of freaking out, like that, like I would have I would have overreacted probably a few months before that time, or even a half a year before that moment. But because I did so much inner work, I didn't overreact to change. I flowed with it and found my husband. And it was really incredible. And I don't want to say like I always flow with life, because I have to be honest. And I don't have to be, but I choose to be honest with you and myself. And I have moments where I push against the wall and life and things. But anytime I've listened and I've been mindful and I say yes to life and all the beautifulness and the signs and the direction I get from it and the guidance, it has never, never steered me wrong. So I'm not always flexible. I'm not always aware and mindful of the subtle thing. And I'm reminded of like the same lesson shows up in your life. Like things keep repeating in your life until you get that lesson. Same with, life will show you things. So it was, I was being too rigid, and I was reminded last week to ease up, to relax a little. I'm on coast time. I'm on beach time. That life is flowy. It doesn't have to be forced and pushed and things, and to like ease up, relax a little bit, and enjoy life a little bit more. Take a breath in and exhale and enjoy life, and let life flow through you and with you instead of against you. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day. Keep your eyes out for life's guidance and lessons, and have a beautiful day. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.